It's the great energy debate of 2022, proof of work versus proof of stake. Yesterday, the White House releasing a report about this, citing Cardano 5 times in that report. All the while right now as I record this video, ADA back above 50 cents. Let's just talk about this, and let's start with this big news. I think it is big news. I'm going to explain why for Cardano. Here's the White House Energy Report showcasing Cardano as the largest proof of stake blockchain in the world. Probably something. Number one, it's just good that like the White House is just releasing things like this, getting the dialogue going, talking about this. And I do not think that they're going to ban Bitcoin. I want to say that. But this is highlighting proof of stake. And in doing so, it's highlighting what is the largest, most robust, secure proof of stake mechanism in the world. That is Cardano. That's a big deal. And here it is in the report. You can just see crypto asset Bitcoin. There's the consensus mechanism, proof of work, and then Ethereum, proof of work, Cardano, proof of stake. All of this happening, by the way, with Ethereum days away from moving from proof of work to proof of stake. That is extremely interesting to me. We have all of this dialogue right now coming into play in the middle of this bear market. We have Ethereum getting ready to move to proof of stake. Cardano's already been there for 2 years, over 3,000 pools and nodes, right? And Ethereum just getting started, and now the White House releasing a report. And I want to just show you a couple things in regards to that. Somebody actually left a comment, and let me zoom in here a little bit because it's probably tough to see, but I didn't realize how many times it was mentioned, but Cardano mentioned 5 times they left this comment. I think this was yesterday. And if you go over to the report, here's the climate and energy implications of crypto assets in the United States, and you just search Cardano, you can see 5 times. So there's one. The most popular alternative to the energy-intensive proof of work consensus mechanism is proof of stake, which is used for networks such as Solana, Cardano, the proposed Ethereum 2.0, which is getting ready to happen in the merge. And I'm just really happy they just at least, I'm happy they mentioned Cardano and didn't just leave it at Solana. So you can keep searching. There's Cardano reference again. And then here's another one, just discussing some proof of stake protocols. And then another one. And then lastly, it's just kind of towards the bottom. So 5 times cited, and it's such a big deal. And again, you can go over here. This is datastudio.google. I'll put a link in the description so you can just kind of check some of these stats. But you just see stake pools, over 3,000 right now. Cardano is just becoming more and more decentralized, and the mechanism has just worked pretty much flawlessly in its entirety. And so we have the White House discussing Cardano, and we're always sitting here and we're talking about how Cardano is just such a good technology. And as ADA investors, a lot of us kind of notice that, and we see the commentary online a lot discussing how Cardano is a ghost chain. It's not doing anything. And to have it in this report, I think is just generally a good deal, because this means that Cardano is part of the discussion, and it should be. It really should be. Proof of stake for over 2 years now. And right now, the Vaso hard fork getting ready to happen, and already diving into solving one of those huge challenges in crypto, that is scalability. Cardano ADA, I say this a lot, but just ahead of the game. And sitting at around a $15 billion market cap is incredible to me. That's incredible to me. Undervalued, in my opinion. So wanted to point that out. It's big news. And here we are. And here we are right now, ADA on the daily chart. I want to break down what's going on here. Before we even really look at the charts on ADA, I want to, and I have this is from earlier, a Bitcoin video. I left the drawing there because this is my concern. And this is my main thing that I'm watching now going into next week. This is S&P 500 index chart. You can just see on the daily chart, we've gotten some green candles. It's been a nice few days. You can see this chart even breaking the 50-day moving average in blue there. That is nice. My concern is pretty much here at the 20-day moving average. That's my immediate concern going into next week, especially we have CPI data coming out. How is this going to play into these charts? Now, the reason why it's a concern is very simple. Crypto is following equity markets. Now, I know along this story, we have to keep an eye as well on, things such as this chart. This is the dollar currency index. You can see on the daily chart some red candles cooling down a little bit. Now, when this is settling down, this is good for risk on assets such as crypto, right? So what is this going to do, right? Is it just putting in a higher low right now? And is it getting ready to kind of continue to the upside, maybe even next week? And then along that line, what is the S&P 500 index doing next week? That's going to tie into the story here on the crypto charts. I guess it's not guaranteed, right? But this is kind of what data has been telling us. And so now we start tying all of that into Cardano charts. And we start realizing, all right, Cardano is bullish. And you go to a weekly chart, Cardano is bullish in the long term. But that doesn't mean there's not more downside in this bear market. It is the biggest thing I'm prepared for. And I really am. I have a macro mindset. I'm not sitting here trading all day. I have a macro mindset. My goal is to be able to accumulate crypto, and I'm thinking longer term, right? So another leg down for me is probably the most wise thing to just anticipate with everything that's going on, right? New CPI data coming out. We don't know what the rest of this year is going to look like. So I think it's just safer for me personally, and this is my approach, it's not financial advice, to always just kind of anticipate maybe worst case scenarios. Maybe put more focus there. For me, it keeps my mind at ease, and it really keeps me making the best decisions for myself financially. And so it's a big reason why I track these charts. Now, potential leg down. If we go to the daily chart, what's the upside look like, right? So upside is just, there's immediate resistance right now. And this is what I'm tracking on the short term to the upside. If ADA is going to move to the upside, what's happening in this area? And you see that green rectangle. That is a Fibonacci retracement. It's a lower high, and you can just see it's always a story of lower highs, isn't it, for us in Cardano in this bear market? It's just lower high. And I'll give you an example. Here's a swing high right here in June to this swing low, and it comes up, ADA making a nice little run, if you remember pretty recently, in the middle of August, to this Fibonacci channel. It's a 786 to 618. That's my Fibonacci channel that I use for resistance. And on the inverse, I use it for support. And of course, just almost perfect resistance right in that channel, lower high, no bullish confirmation, no bullish break above this area. And that's what we needed. It didn't happen. Now, coming from that lower high to the consolidation, this swing low here, we have another new Fibonacci retracement. ADA comes down, bounces off of this fail-safe trend line. You remember we tracked it as it was happening. Called it a fail-safe area of support. ADA hit these two trend lines, right in between those two trend lines. That was this fail-safe area of support. ADA hit it, bounced up, and now we're kind of cruising on up right back to this new lower high Fibonacci, a 786 to a 618. The 618 right around 53 cents. This is on the short term. This is what I'm watching. 53 cents to the 786 around 56 cents. That channel right there is resistance that I'm watching for ADA. It's like, will ADA even get there, right, on this daily chart? And if it does, how does it interact with this resistance area? Is it kind of wicking into there and just seeing resistance in a very similar manner as it did right back here? Is it coming all the way up and testing the upper? Is it breaking at all? Is it closing a daily candle above if we do get a really nice breakout to the upper 50-cent range? Or is it just kind of immediate resistance here? These are the things I'm watching for if this weekend crypto does see any type of rally. Now, all of these things going on, especially going into this new week, crazy to see the Vassal hard fork. It's just getting so close, right? And we know historically in these hard fork events, going into the event, Cardano ADA has really, it's seen upside, right? I don't need to show you every single green box here, but these are the hard fork events. Here's the Alonzo hard fork introducing smart contracts. If you've been watching my YouTube channel for a while, you know we've tracked these things. There's the multi-asset ledger, the Mary hard fork. Look at crypto or ADA pumping into those hard fork events. And here we are right now, but this time we're in a bear market, right? And we've been considering that, taking it into consideration. Potentially, it has helped ADA at the very least trade sideways in this bottom range of this bear market, and maybe it would have performed a little worse without Vassal hard fork potentially. But on the short term, here's the resistance confluent with this trend line that we've been tracking for a while now, actually, as ADA has gotten squeezed into this bottom range. So to the upside, that's what I'm watching for. Obviously, to the downside, everybody, you know what's there, especially going into next week. If there is red on the equity markets, we have this downside range, 15 to 20% down, back down to the fail-safe area, that lower trend line in a 41 cent range, 41 cent range. That's a target to the downside as ADA continues to consolidate. I want to point something out on the weekly chart, and that is this. It's just putting everything aside. If it wasn't so doomy and gloomy with what's going on with inflation and interest rates, this is the type of green candle we want to see. And it really is. Even at this stage of the bear market, it's just a good candle to see. Along with the candle, if we open up the momentum oscillator, this RSI, you can just see ADA putting in a higher low from this swing low where ADA was kind of just seeing that capitulation in this bear market. The reason why it's meaningful to me, at least, and I do this a lot, is I look back historically, especially on Bitcoin when I'm analyzing Bitcoin charts and has so much data to look back on. And I just look at similar moves, right? And here we have the bear market bottom of 2018. And if we open up that oscillator and we look at the RSI there, you can just see ADA just bottoming out and then coming back up and kind of putting in some higher low consolidation before finally breaking above that green line up here, the 20-week moving average. And so the same type of thing is happening on that RSI. And ADA is so close to that 20-week moving average. Look at this, the 20-week moving average around 53 cents. Now that's, if we look at that daily chart that we were just looking at, remember, that's a lower end of the Fibonacci resistance. So 53 cents is actually quite big resistance for ADA, and it's only like a penny away as I do this video. So that's something I'm going to be watching, and it's on the weekly chart. It's a really nice weekly candle. 1 day, 23 hours left on the weekly candle. Going to be interesting to see how the weekly closes, and you just look at all this resistance in here. 200-week moving average at 57 cents. This trend line is right here. Around 55 cents. And these are all the resistance areas we've been tracking. So this is what I'll be watching on ADA. One thing I know though, everybody, is ADA, it's just positioning itself so well. And I say this all the time, not trying to repeat myself, but in this bear market, sitting at the market cap that it's sitting at with the technology that it has and the fact that it's very much aggressively attacking and solving the trilemma that is in crypto: scalability, decentralization, and security. The very fact that Cardano is attacking that is such a big deal. And I just think as a value investor, if you're out there like me, you see what I'm seeing. And I think a lot of people out there agree. So those are my thoughts, everybody, on Cardano. Let me know your thoughts as we go into this weekend. What do you think is going to happen? I appreciate you cruising through. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe, hit that like button. It means a lot to me for those YouTube algorithms. Have an awesome weekend. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.